Hi, my name's Dale and I'm the creator of the Low Latent Inhibition website, the Facebook community group, the Twitter page, and I also help to run the Facebook awareness group. And I'm going to be publishing several videos going forwards, really in an effort to engage with people on a more personal level than having to write things or type them out, which has been the case so far. And I thought I'd start with a brief introduction as to why I felt the need to create the website originally. And this stems from a few years back when I first found out about low latent inhibition and was very overwhelmed with a great sense of relief as to the fact that there was some type of an explanation out there as to why I am how I am and had grown up the way I'd grown up, with the various differences I'd noticed about myself in comparison to other people. And I wanted to speak to specialists or to read forums or to engage with others potentially who have also got low latent inhibition, or at least could point me in the direction or the right direction, or who knew something about this. And there wasn't really anywhere to go. There were no specialists out there. Any psychologists or psychiatrists or professors that I contacted had generally never really ever looked into low latent inhibition, or they'd heard of it but didn't really know what it is, why it exists, what the cognitive factors are, anything like that. And I eventually stumbled across a blog named Semantics, which I'm again sure many of you out there have already seen or have read. And it was when I discovered this blog, I noticed that there were a great number of people who'd written to Sam in a similar manner to the way in which I wanted to write to Sam. And they were asking him questions relating to usually specifics with regards why they are how they are. But there were also very common themed questions that people were asking over and over again. And I eventually managed to stumble across the Facebook awareness group, which I joined and eventually became an admin for. And during my time in this group over these last few years, I noticed that there were questions that seemed to arise more often than others, and there were many people contributing to finding solutions to problems or answers to questions that were posted on there in ways which I imagine people could relate to very well, bearing in mind that many of these people have low latent inhibition themselves, and therefore can understand or can identify with others, and even come to identify with themselves as to why they are how they are. And seeing all of this information and seeing all of these different people contributing to something all in one place, but very small scale, being localized to Facebook, I decided there was a need to upscale this, or a place centrally for people to get to, coming from the various angles, or coming down the different avenues that they can to get to this website. So that's when I decided, okay, I want to do a website, a forum, and try and establish a community, which of course the Resource and Discovery Centre has since really become, where people can go and don't have to sporadically go off on various areas of research, hoping to find some new material on low latent inhibition that isn't already out there, which is very, very rare and hard to find. So ultimately, this has led to me creating the Resource and Discovery Centre online, trying to add content to this that I pick up along the way via speaking to other individuals with low latent inhibition and interacting with large groups of people who do and don't have it. And going forwards, what I really would like to see or would like to achieve is for there to be in existence a place where people can go who have low latent inhibition, or who don't have it but seek information with regards to it, potentially friends or family members of people who do have it, colleagues or scholars, academics, anybody who would like to achieve a greater understanding of the subject. So what I will be doing in the future, as I've mentioned at the start of this, is to release several videos online in which I hope to address the more common themes I'm noticing around low latent inhibition, or things that people are asking, because although very unique to every individual, and I do feel it's very important to stress that there is no set way somebody will be when they have low latent inhibition. There are so many factors involved in why somebody ends up how they are, whether that be personality type, whether that be sensitivity, whether that be any forms of autism, emotional intelligence, IQ levels varying. All of these and more contribute into the culmination of why somebody is how they are with low latent inhibition. But what I'm hoping to do is to provide a platform really via these videos that offer a form of generic advice, but with some methodology in there that does at least allow people to tailor this generic advice using these methods in a way that is unique to them and will benefit them specifically as an individual with some of the problems or hardships that they may face. The first one of these videos, which I will be publishing shortly, will be in relation to why it's so hard to get to sleep with low latent inhibition, ways in which you can make it easier for yourself, because bearing in mind low latent inhibition is very much, almost the entirety of it is around stimuli and the processing of stimuli, the constant influx of stimuli that you experience. And it's during key moments like trying to get to sleep, where you are obviously hoping to achieve some form of rest and relaxation for your brain. But the nature of low latent inhibition being one where stimuli is often or the experience of stimuli is very enhanced for you, it can be very disruptive, given that stimuli comes to us via our senses, whether that be sounds, taste, smell. Big one at night time, of course, being sounds when trying to fall asleep. Anyway, that one will be released shortly. It's also at this point that I'd like to mention that a friend of mine who I have met during the last few years looking into low latent inhibition, etc., is a guy named Adam Lanz, who has actually published some of his own YouTube videos, but he's very much he's very unique in the way that he can describe psychology and psychology in relation to low latent inhibition. And I've actually asked him whether he'd like to team up on a series of videos going forwards to help people out there and to answer questions, and Adam has agreed to do that, so it will be the both of us actually contributing to some form of a central hub YouTube channel or the website which will have these videos and the video content on. Now, what I'd like to say finally really is to always bear in mind that low latent inhibition is not one set trait or one set characteristic. It's hundreds, thousands, potentially millions of combinations out there where the final end product is of a very great varying degree to other people out there, even though there are some common themes. So please don't take my words as being gospel or the outright truth, as at the end of the day I am just another individual with low latent inhibition who happens to have it in such a way that I seemingly can understand people, understand the way people work, how their cogs turn inside, so to speak, and I try to use that to the advantage of myself but other people out there and to help people. And of course, with me having gone through a large portion of my life, not knowing why I was different, wanting to, and having that deep frustration as to why there was no explanation for that, I very much empathise with people out there and also going through a similar thing. And my biggest goal, I suppose, is my biggest goal would be for people to not grow up not knowing why they're different, or to potentially be misdiagnosed with ADHD or Asperger's or ASD, autism spectrum disorder, anything like that, and for ultimately my work, my research, and everybody in this whole field or the subject of low latent inhibition, for our research and information to to lead to a greater awareness of low latent inhibition throughout the world, much like during the 1980s when many forms of autism first started to surface and people started to look into it. So going forwards, I'd like to say thank you all for watching my videos. Hopefully you'll enjoy them, and please feel free to ask any questions or raise any topics that you would potentially like me to cover off in future videos when looking to answer problems or to address questions that are commonly arising. And please feel free to email me. Also check out the website www.lowlatentinhibition.org or .com. The Facebook awareness group or the Facebook community page and Twitter page, which you can find as links on the website. Thank you very much. I will talk to you again soon.